don't know if you guys know. I don't know if you guys know. I don't know if you guys know. Well, guess what? I'm a leader of not just men and women and non-binary people. Thank you, 1.8% of our listenership. And I'm going to prove that because I don't know if you guys follow the news. I mostly just follow the stuff we cover here. But there's an election this year, apparently.
There's an election?
Yeah.
For what?
I think Knox County treasurer, but also president.
Okay.
That was good. That was quick. That was quick to come up with something that obscure. That was good.
Thank you. And it's that sort of intellect, which is why I'm announcing that I am throwing my hat. I'm not going to take it off now because it would hit my microphone. But I'm throwing my hat.
You also have headphones on. It would be really awkward.
It would be awkward to do. I'm throwing my hat into the ring for president. I'm announcing right here. Right now.
Not the Knox County thing. That's
no. I don't live there. I think I could win that one. So I'm kind of gonna leapfrog it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I don't know, man. It's crazy. You know what this is? It really is the Chiefs and the 49ers Super Bowl of elections. I just hope both lose. Like I don't want either of these people to win. And it's not. It's not like I want to be like RFK Jr. should win. I don't want that either. I don't know what. Can we? I don't want anyone.
You know what?
This is crazy.
I think it's time for Jimmy Carter to take one last ride.
That would be awesome.
Oh man.
Him and you know what it should be? It should be a united front. It should be Jimmy Carter, Mike Dukakis as vice president, and Secretary of State Dan Quayle. We should get the boys back together. Get 80s and 90s. Where's Gary Hart? Get Gary. Listen, I was gonna be a political science major, and then I went to community college, and I'm like, that's crazy to get a political science degree in a community college. That's crazy. Shout out to any listeners of your podcast that might have a community college political science degree. I hope Walmart is treating you well.
No, we appreciate everybody who gets an education. Jason, what were you going to say? I would never cut you off.
No, I was going to say, given our podcast, that's likely a non-zero number of people
it's
political
definitely
science
a non-zero number.
Degrees from community colleges.
And might I just say, I think you guys are going to get to the bottom of that Israel and Palestine thing. So good luck. Anyway, as you guys can hear, we once again have a guest in the studio. I'm really excited about this guy because people say all the time, Boston, that's one of the big, great comedy cities, of course. Well, this man, he's too big for Boston. And that's why we have got a comedian from the greater New England area. Johnson!
What's up? Yeah, no, I do Western Mass in Connecticut because I live here for college. Yeah, I didn't even know they existed. I did not know this part of the state existed. Western Massachusetts is the nuttiest fucking part. Are we allowed to swear on this? Is this like, or do you not?
We are mostly, we do play on NPR now, so that is the problem.
No, I just don't want you to get demonetized because I said fuck.
Oh no, I can assure you that we're not fucking monetized.
Yeah, that's.
You also don't get demonetized for your podcast for saying fuck.
Right.
Some sponsors won't be okay with it, but I think I don't think either way. With us, it's a non-issue. I can assure you. Actually, Raytheon, Lucky Martin, Halliburton, Shell, the Umbrella Corporation.
Actually,
a lot of people don't know that they're
Joe
real.
Lieberman to run for president. Let's see how that one goes. I want Joe Lieberman.
Oh yeah, the Believers are back in town. Anyway, I do not want Lieber fever to distract from my co-host, of course.
This is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Now, Cole and I are both comedians. Jason, actually, his entry into creativity is film. He's best known for some controversial screenwriting choices in Hulk Hogan's sex tape. This is my co-host, Jason Strong.
It's actually good. That's actually funny.
I like how you're surprised.
Yeah, you're surprised.
No, that's not what I am.
It is actually really funny because this is a comedy podcast. Jason, why don't you explain it?
This is Underworld News Tonight. Andrew and myself, we cover the weird,
All right,
wacky, wild.
Jason. So the problem is
Yeah.
that these people do not know unless they
Hmm.
listened last week, and maybe they forgot because of the high rates of
Poor
CTE
Jason.
among former high school football players.
Let that man talk.
We have merchandise. UnderworldNewsTonight.com/merch. I know what you're thinking. I went there when you said that at the beginning of this week, and I couldn't enter my credit card. It's because one of the hosts of this podcast, I'm not going to say which one, messed it up when they were programming the website and forgot to program in a credit card processor. I'm just going to leave it up to you guys to decide which one of us did that. Because there's no video. You can get that underworldnewstonight.com/merch. We have a hat, we have a sweatshirt, we have a water bottle, we have a coffee mug. They're all great. And there is one more week that if you share this show on your social media of choice, either tag us or email us a screenshot to underworldnewstonight@gmail.com, you can get a free hat. We just have to know that you did it because we appreciate you letting people know about the show.
Thanks.
Anyway, this is Underworld News Tonight, where we talk about the weird, wacky, and wild news of the week. I am Andrew Michaels, man of the people. My Spotify tastes are the most similar to Bozeman, Montana, out of any city in the country.
I think I got Bozeman, Montana as well. I'm pretty sure. I don't know why they're coming up with these fucking cities.
Do we listen to the same music? I feel like we don't listen to the same music at all. Your favorite song is Dominic the Italian Christmas Donkey. That's not fucking true.
That's not my favorite song. My favorite song, I don't know what my favorite song. It cycles, but I think my top artist unfortunately, for 4 years in a row has been Kanye, which is unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate for him to be your top artist for 4 years in a row, but it'd be really unfortunate for him to be your top artist for 2 years in a row.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I don't know. It's just like, I just tuned out. Whatever he was saying at that point, I just tuned. I'm like, he's crazy. But famous is so good. Look, I don't know what you want from me. I made that bitch famous. It's like the greatest thing ever.
You know, what's really weird about though, is...
Andrew, shut up. I want to hear Jason, please.
Yes.
I'm not letting him not talk for his co-host of his podcast. All right? I'm sick of it. I'm already sick of it. We're going to drown him out. So let fucking Jason talk.
Shit. No, my as someone who lives out here in the West, I live in Colorado. My city on Spotify, whose music tastes I'm most similar to, was Hoboken. So it's really, really weird that y'all from the East Coast get the Rocky Mountains, and the guy in the Rocky Mountains gets the East Coast.
Most similar to Hoboken, huh?
See, that's crazy. Andrew, why are you quiet now after I told you this?
I just want to
I'm sorry,
accommodate
Andrew,
our guests. I want to accommodate you, Cole. Would you like to take the host seat? Would you like to fucking edit this show every week? Pour the blood, sweat, and tears into this podcast? You call yourself students of the game, CJ. I am the fucking game.
You seemed upset the moment because I'm like, dude, I want Jason to talk. Jason seems like a sweetheart. Jason is a sweetheart. I want to listen to him. And then I just have to hear, actually, it's like, listen, I love you, Andrew, but I want to hear Jason. I've never met this guy.
You know what? What I was going to say, I was going to say, Jason, most similar to Hoboken. That is interesting for you. I did not realize that you were a haunted ex-mobster just mourning those horses you've had to decapitate.
Yeah. Now,
where is Hoboken? Yeah. Is that like in northern Jersey? Is that like in northern Jersey?
It's right outside. Yeah, it's right outside of New York City. It's a commuter. It's a commuter city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking of the Rocky Mountains, speaking of the heart of America, this actually goes back to a story we talked about a few months ago. I think Cole would know about it as a religious listener to this program. And we are a program, again, to appeal to our boomer listeners. There was a video captured in Colorado by a Wyoming couple. Definitely not a homeless guy taking a shit, but a Bigfoot walking around in the woods when they were on a train.
Right. And that was southwestern Colorado, if memory serves.
I believe so, yes. That was in southwest Colorado. And they posted it. It went kind of viral a few months ago. And, we obviously had a little laugh debating it.
Right.
We made our little jests. We
We
all
did.
wondered, is it true? Is it
Mhm.
not true? Well, guess
Mhm.
what?
Hmm.
Now it's definitely true. Because
Oh.
another one, it's been spotted, that same one probably, in a
Okay.
place where no one has ever made up a fucking thing.
Hmm.
Utah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, go BYU. Go BYU Cougars.
BYU.
Go Jazz.
Go Jazz.
How did they get a basketball team? That's crazy. Utah got a basketball team.
How did they name it after a form of music that was illegal in Utah until 1992?
Is that
Right.
true? That's not true. That can't be true.
It's definitely true. It's impossible to know.
Right.
Shout out to the Jazz, where their biggest player ever is Karl Malone. That's so bad. That's so sad.
Cole, I think the sports references might lose our audience.
All right, my bad.
Let's go back to all those Hitler jokes you were cracking before we hit record.
Please don't say that. Please don't say on a public platform it was cracking Hitler jokes. That's crazy.
That's true. There is. I want to clarify. There is no recording of him doing that.
No.
There's no. Yeah. So no, what is this Sasquatch thing? Before I start, actually, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail.
No, that's all right. We usually don't get derailed, so it's a refreshing change of pace for people.
Even when it's just the both of us, yeah.
Yeah, so they claim that they posted this through a telescope. We're going to post this in the show notes, by the way. You can find a link, and also on our social media. This has been shot through a telescope 3 miles away, and it shows, and this article is in, by the way, the Cowboy State Daily, written by Mark Hines.
One of our favorite sources of news. Cowboy State Daily. I believe we've gone to that well a few times.
It is crazy. Cowboy State is Montana. Cowboy City is a very different place.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, the people who took it claim that this footage is of a Sasquatch because no human could move like that over steep terrain. Now, this was in the Wasatch Mountains, Wasatch.
Wasatch. Yeah.
Woonsocket,
yeah.
Woonsocket, Rhode Island.
What's up? Is that still a youth reference? Will the teens like that one?
I don't think it's been a youth reference since.
I'm okay. That was just a detached camera. That was a USB camera that fell over, so I'm fine. If our audience didn't see, one of the hosts or guests' camera fell over. Who's to say which one?
We should, Andrew, when this is done, when you're editing, I would encourage you to drag it to the trash can icon. This episode,
just throw it out.
Having fun with this episode.
No, you know what? I think our audience would benefit from the "what's up" joke. I think the "what's up" joke was good, and I think they'll like it.
Yeah, it was solid. Yeah,
it was a great joke. So they said that now Cowboy State Daily says this video has gone viral across social media. No, I think the first I'm seeing of it is in Cowboy State Daily, so I'm going to call bullshit on that one.
Okay.
But maybe now that it has that Underworld News Tonight bump, it will. The people who took it claim that it's footage of Sasquatch because no human could move like that across the Wasatch Mountains. Now, the couple that captured that Colorado footage, that was a Cheyenne, Wyoming couple, Shannon and Stetson Parker. Very Wyoming names. Yes. Stetson Parker.
Definitely.
Dick and Lynn Cheney.
You know, you should definitely hire if you are hiring people, hire a Stetson Parker. Just know that he will fuck your wife.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But he'll do a damn good job, like at whatever you hire him at.
Maybe not your DEI coordinator.
That's probably not very good for Stetson Parker. Listen, we ain't gonna tolerate microaggressions here because this here rodeo benefits from a diverse range of perspectives and experiences.
Well, listen here.
When we're coordinating the midget wrestling.
If you don't want to call me they, them, that's fine. But you're not welcome in my state, partner. Let me tell you so. My beautiful prodigy, my son wants to be called they, them. That's fine. I respect that. Yellowstone, but they're all non-binary and trans.
No, yeah.
Because they've gone woke. They'll call it woke stone.
Oh man, isn't that something? You know, you could write for the Babylon Bee.
Right.
With humor like that.
Dude, people will show me that.
Stone. Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's
so
a paycheck.
Dude, I would listen. I do comedy. Listen, the moment that I need a grift as a conservative, if that will make me money, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to do anything, really. If they're like, we need you to write for Steven Crowder, I'm like, all right, you got it. Whatever you need me to do.
Yep. It's a Bigfoot. We're going to show where you can find it in the show notes. We have found out that our audience doesn't like when we show footage and react to it on the air. But the footage is of a Bigfoot. It's walking across the mountains. It's taking big strides. We saw the same thing in Colorado. Now I did watch it, and it is very similar to the Colorado footage. But Cole, I guess my question for you is: do you have do you believe in Bigfoot?
Oh, this footage! Yeah. I looked it up. All right,
okay.
This footage.
Yeah.
Okay, now I know what we're talking about. All right, yeah. Do I believe in Bigfoot? Here's the thing: is I believe that there was probably some kind of ape-like creature in like the Washington woods. I wouldn't be shocked by that. Is it like a fucking mystical being? No. But if they came up to you and they were like, "There's like a bipedal ape," it's kind of walking around. I think I would buy that.
That's kind of been my opinion.
Realm of possibility.
Yeah.
That's been my opinion, and I think kind of the opinion of the show. I think that what weirds me out is people claim there are cover-ups about Sasquatch and Bigfoot and all of that. You know, a lot of the hardcore cryptid people.
Right.
And at least my opinion on that is I don't think there is, because if we found out tomorrow there's been this big monkey that we don't know about, what changes?
Right. Like no one gives a shit.
Well, people don't even care anymore. Like people
right.
UFOs,
right.
like who actually gave a shit when they said yeah, we have spacecraft and shit?
Oh, I can assure you that some people gave a shit. I gave a shit. I gave quite a shit. And I think that there probably more likely is a cover up because I mean, number one, there's evidence of it. There's real military concern and application in a way that a big monkey doesn't necessarily attract.
I don't know. A big monkey, it doesn't really affect society. Like, if someone, there's
that's
a
what
big
I'm
monkey, why would they cover that up?
But where you can get wooey woo with it is if cryptids, ghosts,
is that lentil in the back?
UFOs. Yes, it is my dog freaking out at some bullshit. Cryptids, UFOs.
What if your dog just saw Bigfoot right now?
Ghosts.
What if Lentil's seeing Bigfoot right now?
This actually, the last time we talked about Bigfoot on the podcast, about Bigfoot on the podcast 2 episodes ago, Chivalry Isn't Dead, featuring Natalie Reff. It was also the first story of the episode. My dog also started freaking out. So I do think maybe it might be coming to send a message. I'm not going to check because that'll disrupt the recording, which is what he's after. Because the theory is, and I think maybe it was when I'm getting to this, which is that Sasquatch, cryptids, UFOs, ghosts, all the source of the same thing, which is a brief interdimensional breakage or spillover or whatever, where things open and reality kind of shifts a bit. And now more and more of these moments are being seen. Of course, if you remember, we also talked a few episodes about the accounts from the Bayside Mall incident in Miami, the alleged alien incident there.
Right.
So it definitely is an interesting thing to think about because, I don't know, Jason. What are your thoughts, Jason?
No, that is interesting, especially since these Bigfoot sightings aren't exclusive to the Rocky Mountains or the Pacific Northwest. We get them all over the country and even the world. And obviously some, even being charitable, some have to be hoaxes.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I believe the Patterson film is a hoax.
Well, Well, here's the thing: is like I'm. Oh, sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
Oh,
whatever I'm
no.
gonna say is interrupt.
No, this is interrupting the show.
Well, like, so here's the thing: is like I remember, like, I came out to Western Mass, and I've been hanging out with a lot of Western Mass comics. And those guys, I don't know what's in the mountains here in Western Mass, but they're like, yo, they're skinwalkers. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I remember I was like getting. I don't think my parents are gonna see this. I don't think they're gonna see this podcast. Maybe they will. But like, I remember I was doing.
I think Lori might listen. I doubt Gary does.
But I was doing a lot of weed with somebody and in their house after an open mic, and they're like, yeah, I think there's a demon in my house. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, I think there might be like a demon because he keeps fucking with my shit. Do you feel the energy in here? I'm like, I didn't feel energy until you just told me that. I didn't feel any different energy.
It could not be.
Skinwalkers are out here. There's legitimate rumors that there's skinwalkers out in the Berkshires. It's crazy.
I mean, Massachusetts is a freaky fucking place. Like, New England's a freaky place. And like,
Right,
I mean, as far as like, you know, atrocities that happened in the early history of this country, I mean, you obviously have the genocide of Native Americans. You have the Salem witch trials. You know, you have like, you know, I mean, a lot of the more brutal, you know, stuff from the Revolutionary War, if I remember from like, what was it, fucking high school history. So like, you know, I mean, I think that it's very, you know, I think there are dark things happening places can attract, you know, dark presences.
Right. And it's one of the, I mean, people have been living there since forever. Europeans have been living there or European people of European ancestry have been living there for, like, you know, hundreds of years before the country was even formed.
Yeah,
like so there's a long.
Oh yeah.
There's like so much, like, it's just, especially Massachusetts, but like that's also the thing. It's like you never hear about Bigfoot sightings in New England. Like, no one's ever made a. Has anyone ever made a claim? Like, I don't know.
I mean, there are definitely cryptid sightings in New England. And there's
but not Bigfoot.
Sasquatch. So Bigfoot / Sasquatch. I don't think it's a particular thing. I think that what you hear about in New England tends to be a lot more sinister, and that's part of what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, there's no like I think the Sasquatch is a fairly, of the cryptids, I think it attracts. It attracts the imagination because it's definitely the most neutral. That, along with like Nessie,
Wendigos are terrifying.
Like,
that's in my most terrifying.
Yeah, well, a lot of the things from. I mean, a lot. There's a lot of the stuff from Native American lore, which is obviously like really terrifying and stuff, you know, and concerning and stuff like that, and also has a lot of depth to it. I think
they went hard with cryptids. They went hard. They went hard in the paint with those.
Well, they weren't really. I mean, a lot of cultures have things similar. I think they became cryptids because people came to America and heard about it and were kind of developing the cryptid milieu, and these things got folded in. But like, you know, like those things get considered cryptids, but like dragons that were in European and early Christian folklore or goblins are not considered cryptids.
Well, yeah. I mean, dragons, no.
Are dragons a cryptid? Like, would you call
a dragon is not called a cryptid. A goblin is not considered a cryptid.
I think that's Andrew's point.
But it's because these things were in like the culture where it ended up becoming like cryptid culture.
Right.
That I get that. Developed I don't know. It's just like all this Bigfoot footage. Like, I don't understand. Like, who cares? Like, I don't know. Like, I get it. Like, if you are interested in Bigfoot and you want to discover a new species, but I don't understand. Like, there used to be whole shows dedicated to hunting Bigfoot. Like, what was going to be the result at the end? Like, who you just found an ape? That's all it happened.
I think that if you, I think that.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to show up to a podcast and then be like, "Who cares?" That was
I think that with the cryptid hunting community,
that's fine.
I think it's a wide range of people.
Yeah,
we like your perspective. We like your perspective. But it's a wide range of people. I think that.
I still want to show up and be like, "Yeah, cryptids are dumb. Who believes in that shit?" Okay, bye, guys.
As far as like, I guess the two things are like, who's bankrolling the show, which is like, you know, people who know it's going to make money or at least attract viewers. And then the question of like, you know, the cryptid thing aside, like, you know, yeah, if you're like discovering a new species, that's cool. And like, you know, it's sexier how cryptozoologists do it because they're not bound to like actual scientific method the way zoologists are. But the problem is none of them are going to shoot a Bigfoot. I mean, some of them will, but like they're not going to be able to, right? So that sort of becomes the problem. But you know, I mean, like I said, I think this is an interesting topic.
And I think too what it speaks to, and like, because I've been interested in this kind of shit like since I was a kid, right? Cryptids, you know, unsolved mysteries, and I'm a fairly like skeptical, like science, you know, minded person.
Yeah, I mean, you were sent. That's why the CIA sent you here to discredit me every week on this show.
Yes. Right. And this little monologue is not at all part of that.
Not at all establishing you as the sensible one and me as the whack job. But if the audience really thinks about it and looks in their hearts for 5 fucking seconds, they'll realize it's the other way around.
Right. But there is, I do get like the appeal of this, you know, cryptids in general is, I think that there is like still mystery or, you know, wonder in the world. Do you know what I mean? Like there are things still out there that maybe nobody's seen in this age where we have Google satellite and, you know, there's no blank spaces on the maps anymore. We know, I don't know. I think that there's something, like I said, it sort of captures the imagination. It's not, it isn't so much that I think it's true or I believe it. I just like the idea that it's possible. Does that, you know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
I believe that. Like, people say like, oh, well, we have all this technology, but like, even when I go out, like, because I've had to do a couple gigs out super west of the state. Once you get beyond, like, my area is kind of like the last where it's like super populated. Once you get beyond that, there's fucking nothing. There's nothing. There's some houses and shit. There's these tiny houses. Like, you get no cell phone reception. It's like, so like I definitely, like, as someone who grew up in Eastern Mass mainly, like I grew up in the heart of Eastern Mass. Like I was like 45 out of Boston. So like there was never like I've never felt like there's forests and shit, but it's not like within 20 to 30 minutes of walking through that forest, you're going to access a road. Like, there's nothing in the middle of round. Like, there have been rural drives I had to do. I'm like, damn, if there's something real out here, I have nobody to I have nobody I can prove that to.
Right.
I've driven from Tennessee to central Illinois at night, right? Not quite Tennessee. I think.
Well, I mean, you can see anything coming your way in Central Illinois. It's just all cornfields. It's not like, oh my god, I didn't.
You know what?
Skinwalker coming for me.
It used to be true. But
the 40 miles of corn.
Number one, it gets real dark because it's also unlit, and also like I think that the this is, I guess, kind of aside the point, and I don't want to turn this into the road safety complaint hour, or maybe discovering I have an additional vision problem hour. But I think that some of these car lights are getting way too fucking bright and compromising everyone else's visibility. Because some people will be behind me, and I'll be like, I can't see a fucking thing now. And it's not their fault either. I mean, it's not your fault that your car has these fucking lights.
Right.
I don't know. That's besides the point. Anyway,
I have like too big of trucks. Like I'm not usually the first one to be like, that truck's too big, but I don't know. It's getting absurd at this point. It's like, Jesus Christ, man.
I drive a Honda Fit. I drive a subcompact. I love it. Got great fuel efficiency, and the Honda Fit a ton of interior space.
Are you sponsored by the Honda Fit?
Right.
No, but I'm gonna.
I could only
fuel efficiency.
Right.
Great
you know what?
Right.
We're not sponsored by Honda Fit, also because they don't sell the new Honda Fits in America anymore. But do you think that we could send an invoice to Honda if it's a small enough amount and just say that it's for sponsorship? And if we send it to the billing department, they probably have enough of those that they're not going to really look it over, and we might be able to get a paycheck. And then have this clip of me asking that question on the show used against us as evidence in a fraud trial.
Right, and then we're sued for millions.
We're sued for the $500 back.
Right.
Well, I mean, all you did was talk positively about the Honda Fit, so I don't think they're going to sue you.
Yeah,
you are a walking billboard for that car.
Yeah. You know, I'm actually seriously considering looking at one now.
And
I'm actually looking at them right now.
It's a great ad, right? Because like I said, I drive a Honda.
$17,000 for a 2015 one is absurd, though.
What the fuck? Where? Oh yeah, I forget you live on the East Coast. Holy shit! No, that's insane. I can get a 2019 one here for like $20K. Like that, I'm not getting into this right now.
You know, you get a 20K one for you get a 2019 one for $20K as well. But like some of these are like it's $12,000 for a 2013 one, but it has 101,000 miles. What is going on?
All right,
with car
you know
prices?
what? This is what it is. The cars are too expensive today. I
can't use my Honda Fit to go see Bigfoot.
Is it packed full? Is it packed full of cocaine for that much?
I don't know.
Anyway. Oh, that would be a great way to sell drugs en masse. Do you think they do that? Do you think that they sell shitty cars for a lot of money and fill them with drugs? I'm gonna get killed by the cartels for like accidentally figuring out that this is their.
You do realize that that's how a lot of car dealers got rich in the 80s, right? Is that they would smuggle coke through their cars.
Yes.
So that's how. I don't want to smear them. But there was a big car dealer out in Eastern Mass called Ernie Bach, whose father, I'm pretty sure, was famous for getting rich off of that. Please don't sue me, Ernie Bach, if I'm incorrect.
Don't sue us for airing it either. We are all claiming, it's a comedy show, we're all claiming Jester's privilege.
I don't know if you want to censor that. I don't know. But it was like, it was crazy. Like, and that was how they got big.
I don't think they're going to listen.
Yeah, I don't think that's fine.
But like Ernie Bach, I don't know. It's like it's just like that's how they got big. Is like they would like fucking smuggle coke through their cars.
Well, there's I know there's a whole conspiracy theory about mattress stores all being money laundering too. Because like
I get
not like
that.
all, but like yeah, because there's just too many of them for it to be feasible.
Here's another business I can smear, but this one's a small business.
Please,
so it's okay. It's okay.
Those are the ones that are the best to smear.
They don't have money. I was in Cumberland, Rhode Island, which the closest thing to the ocean to Cumberland, Rhode Island is the Blackstone River, which is like famously one of the most polluted rivers. It's terrible.
It sounds like a river that they found polluted.
There's a scuba diving store in Cumberland, Rhode Island, and I'm always confused on why are they there, what purpose they have there, because you're not scuba diving.
You're trying to find Jimmy Hoffa.
What are you scuba diving in Cumberland, Rhode Island? Like, are you going to Newport, Rhode Island to do it? That's also my dream. By the way, it is my advertisement for comedy. If someone wants to book me in Newport, Rhode Island, this is my number one dream. It's to go to Newport, Rhode Island and do comedy. That's my one ad I'm going to do for this.
We don't have any listeners in Rhode Island. We do, as of this week, have a listener in Ukraine. But we don't have any.
Zelensky's listening.
Zelensky,
as the bombs are dropping, he's like, I gotta listen to these two guys.
Zelensky, from a current comedian turned from a future comedian turned president to a current comedian turned president. So it's all coming full circle.
It comes for a circle. It's like these two guys talking about Bigfoot and then used Honda Fit prices are the greatest. These guys are great.
And what car dealerships in Massachusetts in the early 2000s?
Yeah, I'm saying, listen.
But I don't. But all this to say, I don't think we have anyone in Rhode Island. Now that I mentioned the Ukraine,
derailing this whole show.
But now that I mentioned it, and then we will need to get on to the next story. Yeah, this is derailing. Yeah. This show's always derailed, and we will need to get on to the next story in a minute. But I do want to say, because I did mention our Ukraine listener, because I actually don't know if this is a listener living in Ukraine, who's obviously dealing with what's going on there, because it's I don't know if you guys have been following the news, but it's rough out there. Or if this is a listener
his name is Werner Herzog. Is that a name that is important at all?
Oh yeah, no, he's making a documentary about us. He's making a documentary about us. It's called Narcissistic Podcasters of Illinois. I wonder why they want me in it. But I don't know if our listener in Ukraine is a listener who lives in Ukraine, dealing with the rough situation there, or if it is a Russian person invading there. So if you were the latter, I just want to say
that would be so much funnier if it's some soldier on the front. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
That would actually be pretty funny.
What the hell? Guys from the it's a special battalion. It's called the Azov Battalion. I don't know what these guys do.
All right, but anyway, is the most controversial we're getting. I just want to say, if you're a fan of this show and you're a Russian soldier invading Ukraine, knock it off.
Stop it. Hey, yeah, stop it.
Right. Let's knock it off. Take a chill.
Knock it off, you two. I hate it's like when my parents fight. I hate it.
Yeah.
Go home and eat some borscht, and take out a baseball bat in a traffic altercation, all the things you like to do.
Hey, I remember that. That's not even an Eastern European thing. I remember seeing that in a Rhode Island during the floods.
Yeah.
There were floods, and we were all traffic jammed. Someone honked. Someone got out of the car immediately with a bat. Immediately.
Yeah.
And his name, Governor Buddy Cianci.
I wish he became governor.
If there's one thing that unites us all in our common humanity, it's our getting out of our cars in a fit of road rage, armed with baseball bats.
Yeah, I feel like that's a universal experience. I would never do that. Here's the thing: is because I look like me, I would never be like, I'm going to intimidate this guy with a baseball bat.
No, you have to. You just have to imply that you. I mean, we both have to de-escalate. Although Cole,
unless I have a gun, then that would equal things out. Well, Cole, really fast.
My body is a weapon now because I don't know if you know that I've been taking jujitsu classes. So Brazilian
wrestling
jiu-jitsu.
with lentil is not jujitsu. That's just wrestling with your dog.
I am in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So if somebody approaches me in traffic, I'm butt scooting over there. I am wrapping my legs around their waist, and they're gonna be sorry.
They might come before they. Depending on how much they're into you, you might be like, "I'm gonna strangle you," and there's just nut juice all over them.
And then I get them when they're exhausted.
This is crazy. Anyway, what's the next cryptid we're talking about?
Jason, let's get on to the next story. We're not talking about a cryptid. We're talking about an animal that's maybe more real, maybe less real than Bigfoot. Who's to say, Jason?
Yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about some violence against animals, if that's something that just a heads up. This is from the BBC. Swan attacks. 4 more killed by catapults in Surrey and Hampshire.
You know what? If you can do that as creative as that, you get to kill animals. Unless it's endangered. All right? If it's just like 800,000 swans, if you can hit them accurately with a fucking cat. Wait, are they loading them into the catapult and flinging them, or are they flinging?
Are they flinging swans? Well, if they're flinging swans at other swans, I'm against that.
That's like Angry Birds. They came up with real life Angry Birds. If that's true.
I was going to say kind
of. I don't. They're not firing swans at the swans, but I think that it's some sort of catapult ammo.
This is crazy. Where was this in Britain? Did you say something like Britain?
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah,
because that's the thing. Very rarely will I say, maybe they do need guns, but in this case,
to say that this is what happens when you don't have guns to just like.
Because are they actually dragging these things out of the fucking Tower of London Armory?
Tower of London slaps. I've been there.
How many catapults do you think we have in this country total?
Oh, I think the number is a lot higher than you think.
Well, how do you? I feel like we know for sure that they do the what do they call it? Pumpkin chunking out in the Midwest,
yeah.
where people build catapults and to fire pumpkins. Like it's a yearly competition here in the U.S. So there is a non-zero number of catapults.
What was that one clip? Does anyone remember that one clip?
They canceled that the year that they canceled that in 2001.
Sorry, I was fully into the sentence. It wasn't even
Cole, I want to be a good host. But this bit would have lost its timing otherwise. It's gone now, and I'm going to repeat it. Do you think they canceled the pumpkin chucking the year of 9/11 because it was just in poor taste?
That was not worth interrupting by whatever I was saying. But that was not worth it. Does anyone remember that clip of the woman with the watermelon in the catapult, and she strings it up and it goes behind her and it fucking whips at her head? Does anyone remember that clip?
No.
That was one of the funniest clips I've ever seen.
Oh,
I don't know. Can I link it in? Let me look this up and see if I can link it in.
Send it to me. I'll link it in the show notes.
All right, hold on.
You could also put
catapult in the face. Yes.
While you're doing that, I'll go through some more of the details here. 4 birds have been attacked, 2 of them killed since the 27th of January in Godstone and Old Woking in Surrey and Odaham in Hampshire.
So the
fuck.
2 out of 4 ratio, number 1.
Right.
That's not a great rate, I feel like. Number 1.
Yeah, I said to the chat, it's one of the funniest videos of all time.
Well, we will be
That's
sure
a
to
classic.
watch
That's
it.
like
We'll be sure to watch it. Not here.
No,
this
bird
is
story
not a
is
visual
nuts.
medium.
Yeah.
But it's
so
crazy
5
that it's a 2 out of 4 ratio.
Yeah, well, it says at Shepperton Swan Sanctuary, 5 birds have been killed in the first 2 weeks of 2024. So it's not even like one area. This is like a coordinated catapult attack.
This guy's a serial
swans.
killer of animals. I mean, I guess better swans than people. That'd be
Yes.
crazy.
I am going to say that if you have to choose between killing a person or a swan, you should do the swan.
That's what I've been saying. Like, this is the thing. It's like, people are all like, oh, man, I really like animals. But the moment it's not like a cute animal, like 90% of people just drop out. It's very funny. It's like, if like the blobfish was about to be extinct, no one would care.
Oh, I would.
I'd care about that one.
Ugly
You're in
animals.
that 10%. Yeah. I feel like 90% it's ugly. I don't care.
No, yeah. A petition has been launched calling for a ban on carrying or buying catapults.
Why is that the number one response in the UK?
So this isn't like
they have to immediately ban it.
This isn't like a wildlife, like we have to hunt the swans for like a conservation thing. This is like a recreational catapult swan hunting.
What it is, or what's being the hypothesis here is that it's kids, like boys in their mid-teens. It says if you're a youth of 14 or 15, why are you carrying a catapult in these areas? You're not hitting cans. It's only here for one.
You're a little close to the camera.
No, it's all right. It's a podcast. It's all right because it's a podcast. I was plugging in my laptop. But the audience wouldn't have known, Cole. But thanks for informing them.
Hey, but he got really close to the camera and it made me uncomfortable.
So the audience knows, I was very close to the camera to plug in my laptop. Anyway, continue. It's youths of 14 or 15. He said if you're a youth of 14 or 15 is what he said. Why are you carrying around a catapult? Is that correct?
Right. And that's the total guess.
Can I ask a follow-up question? If you're a grown-ass fucking man, why are you carrying around a catapult?
A catapult? Yeah. No, that's no, excellent question. Yeah. So I don't know about you guys, but when I was 14 or 15, I got up to a lot of shit. It never involved medieval siege weaponry. Like, I don't know what where are they getting catapults? Is this a common thing?
I don't know.
Who are the catapult salesmen? We do love our catapult salesmen listeners. If these kids could make catapults, you'd think that the teens that are smart enough to make a catapult are not going to be the ones who are like just killing swans en masse for youth crime.
Right. And that would have to be, I would think, even like if you made one. Okay. So me as a 14-year-old, I certainly could not have engineered a catapult capable of killing a swan. Like I could injure a swan. I could maybe kill a starling, but a swan is a little would have been a little beyond my skills at that.
I don't know. I guess the question is how are they getting these fuckers? Like, are they standing? Like, aren't they swimming around or like flying?
Right. There's so much about this that doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I know that like
are they just shooting them and just staying at the catapult?
Well, it's specifically the article specifically states that they originally thought it was a BB gun, and let's see. Oh no! People were reported seeing firing catapults into the bushes.
Yeah, well, what it probably is, they're either shooting them into the bushes while they're at the watering hole, or they're like duck hunting, right? Where like you startle them, and then once they start to fly off, you get one.
You fire your catapult.
Well, like I mean, in duck hunting, I think you use a gun traditionally, but British duck hunting, you got to use a little catapult.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in Britain. What a weird nation.
Yeah,
it just boggles the mind.
We call them fries, they call them chips.
Mm-hmm.
And they catapult swans.
Still. I still call them freedom fries.
Freedom fries, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I call them freedom fries. I call it Liberty cabbage because I'm also against Kaiser. So,
after I read this story, I actually was like, does maybe catapult mean something different?
I don't
know. In the
That's
UK than here? Because it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like a catapult.
Are they actually stealing old-ass medieval catapults? In which case, they should be getting something bigger than a swan.
Hold on. I think the catapult might mean in UK. I looked up catapult UK.
Okay.
And it's kind of got
need some fucking research.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like your guy's Jamie. So...
we're a divided Joe Rogan.
Oh my god. So I think catapult might also mean like what the fuck are they like when you have like a thing on a string, like a slingshot?
Oh, yeah. Really?
So I'm like looking at this. It's like, I look like
that was actually the first thing that popped in my head. Is like, are they talking about a slingshot?
Because I looked up Catapult UK, and it says best hunting catapults for survival and prepping UK, and it's like a slingshot.
Now I even
if you're relying on a fucking slingshot for survival.
No, that makes way more sense.
No, it makes sense how they're killing the swans. I want to get back to the survival slingshot concept.
Right.
But I guess we'll have to get into that another fucking time.
Again, listen, I'm not making a side on guns, but I'm just saying this is what happens when you don't have... It's like, a slingshot will protect you from the apocalypse. Good luck.
So was Dennis the Menace a prepper?
Yeah, Dennis the Menace. Dennis the Menace, first of all, sounds like a prepper.
How are you gonna fucking stop a kid from carrying a fucking slingshot? I don't know, just don't let him shoot the fucking swans with it.
Just, no, that's what happens. Every city does that. Anytime something happens, they're like, "Well, we gotta ban it." It's like, all right, how are you gonna enforce that?
Make it impossible. Yeah, it's easier to animal cruelty is a crime. Let them have their fucking slingshots.
Yeah.
How are they gonna harm each other? They already don't have guns.
Right. You know what? I'm just gonna make the statement. Kids and what I say these goofy places were Old Ham Sandwich and. In Surrey and Hampshire, youth 14 to 15 boys, just go ahead and shoot each other with the slingshots.
Yeah, shoot each other with the slingshots. Really aim for the head, specifically the back of the head, like behind the ear, side, that sort of area. Where your head is, where the head is, the softest area
is the softest. I would recommend the genitals. Go ahead.
Genitals are great.
Yeah.
Hit them in the cock or puss. Get him in the sphinx if you gotta. Just go for it.
But quit fucking.
We're talking too in detail of kids hitting each other in the nuts.
That's true.
This is getting. I was not gonna say anything, but now we're getting we spent 30 seconds on this. This is crazy.
Right.
Most of it, I encourage.
And if you think about it, film it.
Yeah. Film it to us. Maybe don't have pants on while you do this. By the way, I'm just shooting ideas out. I'm not a pedophile though.
Right.
That's the crazy thing is in the
maybe
US,
kiss a little bit.
In the US, that would be very upsetting.
Oh
but
man,
in the UK,
we condemn
they
that
call
here.
Them crisps.
You're right.
That's why we call it the Underground Network. It's underground because we have all. Yes. We're not allowed within 500 feet of schools.
We call it the Underground Network.
That's what we're called. When did we become the Underground Network?
Nope, that was not what I meant to say because that is really close to another thing that was the Underground Railroad, but for pedophiles.
Some have called
Oh
us
my
the
God.
Underground Railroad of podcasting. Anyway, we're gonna keep digging ourselves in a
All right,
hole.
maybe I
off
cut
the
that
show
one
for a
out.
minute.
Don't make
But we are gonna
make that a YouTube short.
We're gonna take a short.
Every time I think it's as bad as it's gonna get,
We're gonna take a short break. We're gonna take a short break.
We're the Underground Railroad for pedophiles. We help pedophiles escape.
Right.
We're gonna take a short break, and then we'll be back to talk to Cole about his comedy, about his life.
I thought you were about to say, "Okay, Cole, that's been fun. Please go home now."
I gotta make sure to edit all this out, but
that's all. Are we still recording?
I also think there's a great with OJ specifically. No, it's easy to edit with Riverside, but
So I thought this was like us just chilling, and then we'll start back up.
Yeah, no, I leave the record on because it's easier, but I have transcript based editing, so I could literally just highlight over this and delete it.
All right, that's fair.
With
because I don't want to bring up Nazi shit on your fucking thing. I was just
for sure. But with OJ specifically, I think there's also a degree which I guess separate the artist from the art also changes in actual not wrestling but sport actual competitive sports in the sense that they're not artists, it's about physical accomplishments and stuff like that. And partially it's just I'm not really the type to watch old sports games usually. Occasionally I'll watch I've watched the 86 World Series once or twice or stuff like that. But I mean, I know you're gonna hate this as a New England sports fan that it's the 86 World Series and the 07 with the
Can I read this OJ piece? Can I just read this real quick? I'm sorry. Can you just?
Yeah.
I was reading.
Do you want this on the air?
Yeah.
This part is funny. You can. In 2006, Simpson starred in his own improv-based hidden camera prank TV show, Juiced.
You've never seen this?
I've never heard of this.
Oh, I forgot you were too young in 2007 to be watching TV like this.
Well,
no, I remember
Juiced. At the end of the prank, he would shout, "You've been juiced."
Oh my God.
Each episode opened with topless strippers dancing around Simpson. Dude, when they open up his brain, that CTE is gonna go fucking crazy. This is nuts. Right. Oh my God. He sings his own rap song, which includes the lyrics, "Don't you know there's no stopping the juice? When I'm on the floor, I'm like a lion on the loose. Better shoot me with the tranquilizer dart. Don't be stupid." That doesn't really rhyme.
No, that doesn't rhyme.
Don't be stupid. I'm not a Simpson named Bart. Oh, what the fuck?
That's not. I feel like the
episode. Simpson is a used car lot in Las Vegas where he attempts to sell his white Bronco. A bullet hole in the front of the SUV is circled with his autograph, and he pitches it to the prospective buyer by saying that if they ever get into some trouble and they have to get away, it has escapability. This is the funniest thing I've ever heard.
All right, but that's also that. I mean, that's the
that's good.
That's also
that's a banger.
That's also Right. That is also a man in a lot of debt as well, right?
In another sketch called Bingo OJ, Simpson pretends to be having an affair with another man's girlfriend. Later, he transforms into an old white man whose dying wish is to call a game of bingo. Juiced aired as a one-time special on pay-per-view television. It was later released on DVD. I need this DVD.
Wow.
How much does it cost?
No, I had no idea. No idea.
And we want to thank the sponsor of this show, Juice, starring O.J. Simpson.
It's like $99, which is honestly a lot cheaper than I thought. I thought it was
you think it would be. Jason, you think we could get O.J. on the pod?
Smithsonian.
Yes.
Probably.
Oh my God.
Would you be opposed to having O.J. on the pod? I bet he's funny.
There's no way you cannot listen.
Man,
the goal of this podcast is to rake in all that money. You want to rake in the money? You got to get someone funny like
we got to get OJ. We got to get famous funny man OJ Simpson on the podcast.
The thing he is most known for is his humor. Yeah.
Let's talk about your 1973 MVP season. What was your favorite game?
Have you talked to the Hertz people of doing another commercial? I feel like those kind of disappeared out of nowhere.
I hear they're making a remake of The Naked Gun. Have you been contacted about that at all? Or?
Oh
It
my
is
god!
weird, Mike Tyson gets rehabilitated with the Hangover movies. O.J. Simpson's not getting the same treatment. I guess you can't. I guess you can rehab rape, but not murder in Hollywood, at least.
I will say, not to fully defend Mike Tyson.
Let's please fully defend Mike Tyson. Like,
Jason, you need to label Jason defender of Mike Tyson. That's your new co-host.
First of all, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, 2 thumbs up.
He didn't design that, but go on.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's like
he wasn't sitting there on the code.
Oh man!
Shout out Shaquille for Shaq Fu. I'm sure he made it.
Right.
All right. So go on. What's your other exoneration of Mike Tyson?
He had a podcast that was surprisingly
yeah, it was actually good. I was
surprisingly self-reflect. Like he actually listening to it feels like he's genuinely changed his perspective on
Well, that's because he takes a copious amount of shrooms. He tranquilized himself, and he's like,
of course,
yeah,
of course.
So anyway,
it was more uplifting stuff. We have gone.
Would it bother you guys if we had Mike Tyson? Sorry, I have to ask the UNT audience this question. Would you be morally opposed to us having Mike Tyson on the podcast? I'm sure it's attainable. Or O.J. Simpson. Who would you rather have? Underworld News Tonight at gmail.com.
I think Bigfoot's real.
What if we got them both? What if we did Bigfoot's
real?
OJ?
I actually did find Bigfoot.
I bet OJ would have some. I bet Bigfoot would have some. I bet Mike Tyson would have some Bigfoot takes. I bet OJ would probably have some.
There's no way you could buy an OJ Simpson jersey, like a new one, right? There's no way.
No, I don't. Not an official one.
Think not, but
you could definitely get a billion unofficial novelty ones, easily.
Right.
I mean, you could buy one on Amazon for $40.
Yeah, totally. Right. No, but I don't think it's it can't be what was he on the Broncos or
Bills?
No,
he was on the Buffalo Bills.
Bills, yeah.
He was the first big Buffalo Bills star.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not a big 1970s football fan.
I'm not either, but I
don't think it's made by the Bills, is what I'm saying.
That's my point. I don't think you could buy a brand new one.
Anyway, we are not just here to talk about future podcast guest O.J. Simpson's illustrious football career today. We actually want to spend a little bit of time with our guest, Cole Johnson. Cole, what's your fucking deal? Why are you here?
You married my sister.
That's true.
So I felt I didn't want to. You were like, "Do I do a podcast?" I was like, "Okay, that's how I got here."
Yeah,
that's how we got here.
Don't talk like that on the podcast. You got to work on the diction. If you say "okay" like that, the audience is gonna find it really fucking annoying.
All right. I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah. No,
the woke mob is trying to cancel me for saying "okay."
The woke mob is trying to cancel me for saying "okay."
Right.
In an eccentric manner.
I do sometimes do that. I sometimes say things like a little gay boy.
And also some of my other opinions that I don't need to go into.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Do you want to ask another question or something?
Yeah. No. Tell us about your. What are you doing out there? What's your? What's Cole Johnson putting into the world creatively these days?
So I do stand-up comedy. I do mainly open mics, but I usually get booked on weekends. Usually I'm doing it.
That's cool.
Sorry, someone texted me. I apologize. That's very unprofessional. Someone texted me something important. I was like, "Oh, why are you texting me right now?" No. So I do stand up. I don't know. I sometimes produce shows. I'm usually perform in the Western Mass in Connecticut area. I'm going to New York City to perform for a gig at the Broadway Comedy Club on the April 5th.
Oh, that's fun. We've got some listeners in New York. New York listeners, you check that out. It's Broadway Comedy Club, April 5th.
At 10 p.m. So Friday, April 5th on 10 p.m.
Yeah, we'll go ahead. Can people buy tickets to that online? Do they buy them at the door?
I don't have like a link to that. I just know that that's a date I'm in New York City.
All right, well,
Like, I
he's
don't
going to
have
be
it.
in New York, April 5th, 10 p.m. at the, what was it, the Broadway Comedy Club?
The Broadway Comedy Club, yeah.
The Broadway Comedy Club.
Mhm.
I
So go
occasionally
ahead
produce
and
stuff.
yeah.
Like in March 1st in Westfield, Massachusetts, I will have a couple Connecticut veterans on and some Western Mass young guns, and we're gonna be doing a show at the place called the Nook on March 1st at 8 p.m. Tickets are $10, but if you show up with a student ID, it is $5.
Ooh,
That's all I
that
have to
is
promote.
exciting indeed.
Yeah.
So either if you're a student, go out and check it out. If you're an adult, go out and check it out. And if you want to save some money, maybe rob a student, take their wallet. They probably have an ID in there. Definitely don't have any money in there.
You could just show up with a student ID, and I'm not really gonna fight you on it.
It has to be your student ID.
Well, like I don't like you could show up as like an 80-year-old man and be like, "This is my student ID from 1945." It's like, all right, well, you got me there. It's kind of a loophole.
Yeah.
I haven't set up an Eventbrite for that yet, so you can't really get anything online. I don't know.
Yeah, but I guess some of this stuff, some of the ways to buy tickets are still going to be being set up over the weekend. It sounds like, but I guess where then can people find all these dates and where to get the tickets and maybe some fun little clips of you making some jokes and jests and jabs.
Mainly my Instagram on C Johnson. C Johnson 743. I gotta fix it. I know, but if you look up Cole Johnson and you see a guy screaming into a microphone, you found the right guy. That's my profile pic. So I don't think it's gonna be that hard to figure out who that was.
Yeah.
No, I mean like I've been doing stand up for about a year now. A year and some change at this point. It's been fun. It's been mainly a thing. I was going crazy in college. I was just bored of college parties. I remember I was at a bar. I was at a bar drinking just by myself, and some guy showed up and he had a cool jacket. I was like, "That's a nice jacket." And we got into talking, and he was like, "What's your dream job?" Which was a wild question for like 3 questions in. I was like, that's an intense question. I was like, I don't know. I've been thinking about doing stand up, and he's like, "Well, I actually know someone in Worcester," and they gave me the Instagram of someone. What was funny is I had just set up Instagram. Like, I had never had Instagram. I just set up 2 days before, just coincidentally. And he's like, "Here's this guy's Instagram." And I hit him up. He's like, "There's an open mic in Westfield, Massachusetts, a place I definitely knew existed before. I definitely knew that there was, like, a big part of this thing. Springfield blows my mind still. Like, I'm like, how is there 150,000 people here? This is crazy. It's the middle of nowhere. But, no, I mean, like, I mainly grew up in Eastern Mass. I grew up in North Attleboro, which is like about 15 minutes outside of like Gillette, that kind of area.
They call it the Paris of the Northeast.
Yeah, that's what they call it. It's I don't know. I'm not used to having to talk about me. I'm not very good at that.
I'm not used to talking about my life. I'm a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
I talk about like things on stage, but none of the audience is like, "What are you?" All right,
so Cole, I'll ask one final question then that's going to be more in your wheelhouse.
Do you believe in angels or?
No, I got a question for him that's going to be in his wheelhouse.
Have you accepted the light of Allah into your life? Oh.
All right, nope.
Have you accepted Xenu as your Lord and Savior?
I've got a question that I know you're going to be able to answer for our audience then.
What? What's your?
Right. What's the deal with airplane food?
I don't know. My goal is to
Cole?
My goal is to meet, like, as a comic, is at this point is to get into rooms with way bigger comics and just figure it out from there. I just want to be able to say I did it.
Yeah.
No, totally.
Yeah, that's cool. No, yeah, I get that.
But I don't think I'm ever going to be like super famous, but it'd be very funny to be like, yeah, I worked with Bill Burr one time. So,
we got a story on UFOs to go over. This is from Yahoo News. My microphone cuts that out because it does that when I do voices like that. This is from their futurism section. It is from Frank Landymore. And it is covering Avi Loeb. Jason, I've actually wanted to talk about Avi Loeb for a while on the show, but we've never really gotten the chance. He's a Harvard professor. who in 2022 did an investigation of a meteorite that fell into the ocean. And basically, in his investigation, he determined that this was the first interstellar object known to fall to Earth. He found remnants in the form of spherical metal fragments, which he calls spherules. He thinks that suggests that this could be some form of alien technology. Now, we're going to post a picture of these things on social media, and you could also find a link in the show notes. But I mean, it looks convincing. Now, Avi Loeb himself, though, is somewhat of a lightning rod for controversy within the UFO community.
All right.
Because I think a lot of people see him as very much of an attention grabber. But at the same time, I mean, his findings are compelling, and he's a Harvard professor, and I think that does grant a certain degree of credibility.
What is he a professor of? Sorry, did you say?
I believe astrophysics.
Okay.
Yeah, he's an astrophysicist.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, so he's an astrophysicist, correct? Like, he's like a legit guy.
Gotcha. Not like music composition. Which wonderful
that
field
would also
of study.
be. I would love a fucking music comp professor to find a UFO.
Right.
None of my fucking professors ever. Cole, are any of your professors finding UFOs?
No, I mean, I wish. That'd be cool. All my professors have been boring the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I had community college professors, which aren't.
I feel like
it's kind of like an upgraded high school teacher. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even trying to be mean. Hey, community college teachers, I have nothing but respect. If anyone's listening, nothing but respect. But you guys are kind of just upgraded high school teachers.
I have nothing but respect for this noble profession. Let me say something disrespectful.
Teachers are great. It's not that disrespectful. It's just weird when I'm in a building next to an abandoned Texas Instruments factory and I have to call somebody professor. That is weird. It's weird to me. It's weird to me when I'm next to an abandoned factory in Attleboro and someone's like, "You have to call me professor." It's like, I don't.
Wait a minute. You're telling me that the Texas Instruments factory is in Massachusetts and not Texas?
There was a branch up here that was abandoned and it's attached. It's attached to the community college.
Yeah, they abandoned it when it turns out they fucked up. They miscalculated where Texas is on the map.
Right, like we were way off. We really have to get these calculators better.
It's just bizarre. Like there's a Papa John's right across the street from where we're at right now. I have to call you professor.
No, but Avi Loeb, like I said, his credentials are legit. But his findings, which were documented in a paper published in October, were met with skepticism. Some scientists rebutted that the spherules were the result, and this is from the article, of fallout from human nuclear testing or even just coal ash. Loeb, however, told Boston's Public Radio that he's released new findings to silence the skeptics, concluding in, which I didn't know exists, a preprint paper, like a fucking promo for his paper. Have you guys heard of this shit?
No. Like a teaser?
Yeah, like a fucking teaser trailer for the fucking paper. Yeah, who the fuck does that? This is probably why people this doesn't help your credibility.
Yeah, right. I mean, who was there was someone else who was like there's like some famous celebrities. Didn't Jimmy Carter say he saw a UFO?
Jimmy Carter saw a UFO. He said he was going to make that public when he became president, and then allegedly they told him the truth on his first day, and he left and broke down crying and said, "I can never release the truth." So whatever. I mean, this is all alleged, but who knows what Jimmy Carter knows? Jimmy, come on the pod. And let us know. Or like I said at the beginning of the show, throw your hat in the ring this year. I think the American people would love to hear from you. Get some new blood in there. He said that he compared the 55 elements from the periodic table in coal ash to those special spherules, and what he found was clearly very different. The article ends that he appeared to have a message for the haters, which I don't think he said. It's not based on opinions. And of course, if you're not part of the scientific process and you're jealous of the attention that it gets, then you can raise a lot of criticism. So fucking got him, Loeb. He says he does still believe that our best bet of finding extraterrestrials remains in the sky. And and specifically within the solar system, and not fixating on the far reaches of the cosmos, even though we do probably know there's no life within the solar system, consistently, just as far as any travel might go.
Right. I was gonna say, like, yeah, is he suggesting that we'll find aliens on Saturn? Because I
check
think
the
we've
moon
kind of
again.
ruled all that out. Yeah.
What if we just send a manned mission right into the sun to check?
You think they could be on the sun?
Yeah, could be hiding in the center.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a speakeasy that was in a like a fake laundromat once, where you had to open a washing machine to go into the speakeasy.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Maybe the sun is like that, where you just got to fly past the sun, and then there's a cool bar.
There's a speakeasy here in Denver that's a ice cream shop, and you go in through the freezer. Yeah, no, yeah, that's a good point.
What if someone went to the wrong ice cream shop and fucking froze to death? You think they'd have to change it?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I feel like, because they didn't die there, so like,
well, there is like a door person who lets you is there to facilitate entry to the speakeasy. It's not like you just wander into the ice cream shop and go into their freezer. And
so like J. Edgar Hoover himself could show up and they'd let him in.
I don't think J. Edgar Hoover is going to show up, but
maybe
anyone else,
maybe
any of his G-men could show up and put the kibosh on this.
Fun fact: here's a movie recommendation. The Nixon movie. This is a good J. Edgar Hoover. It's played by Bob Hoskins. Well, that's a good one.
I've got another movie recommendation.
That J. Edgar movie sucked. I watched the one with Leo. That one sucks.
I've got
it's so bad. It's like one of his worst. I don't even know why Leo did it.
I've got another movie recommendation. Who's Nailin' Palin? It has a great J. Edgar Hoover. J. Smegma Shooter is actually what they call him in the movie. Very, very fascinating look into the political process.
Yeah, that's a bold interpretation.
I can see why he was such a controversial figure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All that schmegma.
Too much.
Just shooting everywhere.
Anyway, we're not here. Anyway, we're not here to talk about J. Edgar Hoover's smegma anymore. I apologize to our elementary school listeners. Again, I do know we get used in the Florida State curriculum these days.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, but anyway, let us know what you think of Avi Loeb, especially if you're into the UFO thing. I know we got some listeners who are very into it. Jason, you've got a story to close us out on.
I do. One of my favorite quotes, sayings, I don't know if y'all are familiar with this, is that Mount Everest is littered with the bodies of ambitious people.
Man, throw the bodies of, if you have the body of an ambitious person right now, throw them in the fucking trash.
Throw them in the goddamn trash. That's what I was.
Right. where you put bodies.
Exactly. It's a fucking disrespectful to a global landmark.
Mount Everest, though, is also apparently covered in poo. This is from
littered. It's super fucked. Like, it's because it's becoming like an industry, right?
Yeah.
It's like an industry to get up on the top. It sucks.
Right. Yep. No, exactly right. This is again from the BBC. Mount Everest climbers will need to bring poo back to base camp.
I like that the news says poo in the UK. We don't say that in the US. Newspapers have to say feces here, I think.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe you're right.
You'll see feces, and I think that like if they want to be like glib, they'll maybe say poop. But I think poo is a lot more. Yeah. I think because Disney will sue them.
Right.
Not anymore, but
Yeah, well, that poo has an H.
That's true.
Anyway, article begins. Our mountains have begun to stink. Mingma Sherpa, chairman of Pasang Lama Lamu Rural Municipality, told the BBC, which covered the municipality covers most of the Everest region. Due to extreme temperatures, excrement left on Everest does not fully degrade.
Makes sense.
We're getting complaints that human stools are visible on rocks and some climbers are falling sick. This is not acceptable and erodes our image, Mr. Mingma adds. So the issue here apparently is, as Cole pointed out, summiting Mount Everest is an enormous tourist industry now.
Yeah, no, that is true.
People, there have been a lot of recent
You think
concerns.
we should do a live show there?
I would absolutely love to do that. I'll go to base camp. I ain't going up to the top, but I'll go to the base camp.
Yeah, while shitting. Like
while
we
shitting.
all, us and the audience, we synchronize it.
Yeah, like a count off or.
Yeah, count off throughout the show. Tickets, underworldnewstonight.com.
Yeah. Yeah, so like way too many people are going up there as you get higher elevations. You know, typically as someone who has a little bit of backpacking mountaineering experience, you would dig a hole, poop in that, wipe with whatever leaves are handy, throw it in the hole, and, you know, go about your day. At high elevations, you can't do that. It's all rocky. The ground's frozen. So all these people going up there just taking a shit, you know, when they have to, where they can. The number of people, though, are turning it into, quote, an open toilet. So the tallest peak on Earth is now an open toilet, I guess.
You know, people say that it's bad for something to be an open toilet, but they get really mad at you for shitting on a closed toilet.
You know, actually, that's a really good point.
Dude, what's like if you shit yourself on Mount Everest?
I have to think that is unpleasant for certain.
Yeah, for sure.
That it is
I
not
imagine
an
everyone does.
Uncommon occurrence. Right. Yeah. Almost, I don't know. I don't know if everyone, but certainly
people
a
piss
fair
themselves
number.
when they run a marathon, right? Like everyone running a marathon has to piss themselves.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that. Why
like
do they?
4 hours where you're like drinking water every second, every time you can, and like exerting yourself and on edge. I would piss like 19 times. That's why it just runs down the shorts.
They usually have like they have like porta potties, marathons.
That's gonna ruin your fucking time.
I guess that's true. But I guess if you're running fast enough, it doesn't matter how much you drank because you're going to make it to the finish line before you have to pee. The problem is only if you're slow that you have to pee multiple times.
Or if you take a shit, then you're wasting precious carbs.
Because people have done a marathon in like, what, under 2 hours? I want to say.
Yeah.
And I think you can hold it for 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, I guess I'm not doing a marathon either way. But I guess the key is to just really manage that 2 hour marathon, and you'll not have to deal with it. Or piss yourself on the marathon. I say piss yourself.
Now,
Cole, what do you think? Cole, tiebreaker.
For what, pissing yourself during a marathon? I would piss to win, yes.
Yeah, versus the fucking porta potty.
I have never ran a marathon. I've ran a few half marathons.
I don't think any of us look like we've run marathons.
Yeah.
All three of us do not look like Olympic sprinters.
No. No, I've done a few half marathons, though, and I guess in fairness, while I did not piss myself, I definitely dribbled. So, I don't know.
Dribbled what? Pervert.
Yeah. So anyway, going back to Mount Everest. Yeah, human stool everywhere. They are handing out the municipality is doling out poo bags because I guess wealthy people with delusions of grandeur didn't plan on having to poop before arriving at Everest. So
No, why would you? You
yeah,
just
they
go.
get,
It's up and done.
the article goes on. On average, a climber is thought to produce 250 grams of excrement per day.
How much is that in real numbers?
I don't know, Cole. You've been doing all the research so far.
Yeah, Cole. How many? How many?
Are you on the conversion
in the
already?
imperial system is 250 grams of excrement?
I don't know. I don't really do empirical stuff.
All right.
I'm looking now.
I'm not a measurer of things, you know.
Oh, so about half a pound.
Probably,
Half a
yeah.
pound?
Seems reasonable, actually. Yeah.
Do you guys know what your heaviest shit is? I know what my suspected heaviest shit is. I've probably had heaviers, but I have my heaviest confirmed.
Can I ask how you confirmed it?
Yeah, because it was back when I wrestled in high school, and I had to weigh in for a wrestling meet, and I weighed myself that morning, and then I took a 2-pound shit.
No. No, I don't think.
One time I was at a comedy club and I took so big of a shit. I for once took a picture of it. I was like, "This is crazy,
man."
For once, I'm like, "Dude, this is crazy."
And that's on your Instagram?
No,
Yeah,
the turd coil is
can
not
find
on
me,
my
buddy.
Instagram. I wish.
But yeah, now it's a big problem. Said they're handing out the poo bags, trying to solve it. Really kind of a shame. But also, living here in Colorado, this has definitely become a concern that I hear about is too much shit in the mountains. Too much human shit.
I don't get it with that. With Everest, I get it. Like, it's life or death up there. But, some of those mountains aren't.
You also chose to be there.
Right.
Just stay home. Just stay home. You don't have to shit anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think it's as impressive anymore. I'm not, nearly as impressed as, you would be, 10 to 20 years ago.
You know what's more impressive than climbing Everest? Starting a podcast. We both made the same joke. Anyway.
We just made a different variation of the joke.
Yeah.
And my thought went to being responsible with your shit.
That's true.
Maybe we're all saying the same thing.
Speaking of taking a shit on Mount Everest, if you're taking a dump on Mount Everest and going to leave it there, we would really appreciate if you would carve Underworld News Tonight into it, so that whenever anyone else passes by that shit, they know that you're a listener of ours. Yes, it's bad that you did that, but they might still think, well, I do need a podcast to listen to on the way up further, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on.
Probably listening to your Sherpa, yeah.
Well, you could figure it out. Eyeball. It'll fucking...
whatever. Yeah.
He's a Sherpa. You work at Goldman Sachs. You know what? You have your shit together more, right?
I don't know.
And you share this show with your Sherpa too. Share it with your friends. Share it with your loved ones. Share it with your enemies. Share it with your boss when they fire you for sharing an inappropriate podcast at work. Share it while you are making love to your wife or husband or whoever you're having an affair with. When we do appreciate it. Of course, you can find us anywhere you get your social media at Underworld News Tonight. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and YouTube. Jason, you have an Instagram.
Yeah, Jason V. Strong. Post art, my travels. Yeah, that's about it.
And our very special guest, Cole Johnson, he said he has an Instagram. What is that?
Fun.
Yeah, what's your Instagram?
Johnson743. Thank you for having me, guys. This was really
fun.
Well,
we're still doing the outro.
Yeah,
I also have an Instagram. Andrew Michaels 95. You could find me there and see little clips of me making little jokes of comedy, and also some pictures of my dog, and also whatever other shit I decide to post. And you can find me on TikTok, Andrew Michaels Comedy, and YouTube, Andrew Michaels Comedy. Do we have anything else to talk about? Make sure you follow this show, share it, get that, get the chance of winning that hat. Find our merch, underworldnewstonight.com/merch.
Yeah, if you're a 14 to 15-year-old boy, use your slingshot against other 14-year-old
That's the
boys.
target
Absolutely.
demographic is 14 to 15-year-olds.
That is your target demographic if you're 14 to 15 years old.
No, don't accuse me of that being my target. That's your target. You were like, I really like hanging out with 14 to 15-year-olds. I was like, what the hell?
When did I say I am real life hanging out with 14 and 15-year-olds? All right, Mr. Johnson. All right, that is enough.
That's all the rumors I heard.
Which is funny. You see all the Chuck E. Cheese tickets, prize tickets he has in the background there.
Is he really?
That's how you attract a 15-year-old in 2024.
No, you're right.
Is with a Chuck E. Cheese ticket.
I'm
gonna groom him with skee ball.
Right.
Did 15-year-olds go to Chuck E. Cheese in the 1980s?
See, we've gone full circle. we brought up the Underground Railroad for pedophiles, and now we've ended on pedophilia. We've gone full circle. It's like what we like to call in the comedy industry a callback.
That is what we like to call in the comedy industry a callback. Speaking of callbacks, I
will not be. I will not be called back for the jokes.
Look,
I will not.
That was fun. This was a lot of fun.
And
Thank
you guys might be worried about, I have a rough, it's been a rough week. I'm in trouble because I shot my 14-year-old brother with a fucking slingshot in the back of his ear.
14-year-old
and now he has brain damage. And, it ruined his future. And I'm going to say, you don't need to think about his future. Because, future, past, fuck it. It's all phantom time, but right now.